Alright guys, we got a good one here. Right, customer came in with a check engine light on his vehicle. It's a 2010 Subaru Impreza. Asked me to take a look at it. So let me get the scan tool and see what this code is telling me and take it from there. Right, so I got the TOPDON hooked up. So if you're looking to purchase the scan tool, I'll leave the link in the description. Right, so we're getting a P0037 code, which is the heater circuit for the O2 sensor number 2. Right, so first thing I like to do is check for my power and ground going to this O2 sensor. Right, I'm going to show you where the sensor is located on the hood. This is the one that's after the catalyst, right? So after I'm checking for power and ground, right, normally keep it low tech and just take out my multimeter and check the resistance on the heater wire, which is the same color wire. I believe this one is a white, the two white wires, right? So the number 2 sensor is a narrow band, and while the number 1 sensor is a wide band, right? So you kind of test them differently, I would say, right? But with this narrow band is simple. It's a simple test, right? You check the heater circuit, make sure that you're getting battery voltage when the car is on, and if you want, you can use a multimeter and check the resistance. And last time I checked one, this was like 5 to 5.5 ohms of resistance on a new one, right? And this carry like a 1 amp current draw, right? So let's see if we get any kind of freeze frame information, right, when it happens. I'm just messing around a little quick, but as I said, let me show you where the sensor is located, right? So we're going to look at number 2, which is the blue wire looking one, installation one. This one is the number 2 sensor, right? And the next one is number 1, right? So we're going to look at the 2 white wires on this sensor and check it with the multimeter. So give me a minute, let me set it up. Right, so the multimeter hooked up, right? So we're going to just ohm this sensor, right? As I said, I'm looking for anything from 5 to 5.5 ohms of resistance, and right now, as you can tell, I'm getting like, I'm getting like 0.5 mega ohms, which is like high in resistance. So if you get high resistance, that means you get low voltage and low current in this, and that's what triggered the light for this sensor, right? So while we at, let me check sensor 1 also, right? Sensor 1 has the heater wires, the 2 black wires. So look, you see I'm getting like 1.3 ohms, which is very low. So this sensor is good. So we're gonna we get number 2 sensor replaced, right? But before we do that, I'm just gonna pop on a old sensor that I got put on there for our next vehicle, just to verify and show you what I'm talking about, right? You're looking for low resistance so you can get a higher amperage and a higher voltage, right? So let's give you a minute. Let me set up this next sensor and see what we get. Yeah, so this is another sensor that I had there, right? So I'm just going to do a quick resistance check on it, right? Probe off the similar color wires on this sensor, and I believe I'm getting like 4 ohms on this one, right? So this is a good working sensor. So always remember, the higher the resistance, the lower the voltage, the lower the current. So each manufacturer will have its own specs, right? So don't really get too caught up with the specs. You just know, hey, when you see that you're getting high resistance, you're gonna get low voltage. So I got the okay to replace this O2 sensor number 2, right, from the customer. I'm gonna slap it on, put some anti-seize on this threading, and I'm gonna just start this vehicle, let it warm up, right? When it's warm up, I'm gonna clear the code. I believe this warms up to all the way like 615 degrees Celsius, but you don't gotta get caught up in all that, right? So after I clear the code, I'm gonna take it for a run, make sure that all is well before I hand it back to the customer, right? So you could have used the scan tool, and if you know how to use the scan tool data, you could have diagnosed this also without unjacking. You could have used a oscilloscope also and check it out. But all you're gonna see really is like battery voltage, which is different from sensor 1, which is a wideband sensor. That sensor is controlled by the ECU, right? So this was just a quick video that how I check faulty heater circuit on an O2 sensor, right? As I said, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Until next time, take it easy, right? I'm just going to take this for a test drive real quick, make sure all is well before I give it back to the customer later.